Speech.
Speech.
Who is it, Sonia? Oh, it's not good. Daddy.
Turn down for what?
Rolling.
Wait, you're rolling already?
You need a
Okay.
card?
Alright, what would you guys say if I were to tell you that texting and driving is more dangerous than drinking and driving?
I would agree.
Alright, first of all, how many of you guys have drank and drove?
I don't give a fuck.
3 people. Alright, now how many of you have text and drove?
I don't have a car.
Come on, I know there's more than that.
Do what? I
Alright, text and drove.
I'm an MP. I'm
Oh, yeah.
standard.
Okay. Anyway, the meaning of this class is to persuade you that texting and driving is wrong and you shouldn't be doing it. Alright. The number of traffic fatalities for texting and driving is actually higher than drinking and driving. The National Highway Traffic Safety Association says that it's 6 times more dangerous than texting and driving, or than drinking and driving, sorry. The definition of texting and driving is the act of composing, sending, reading text, email, or other computer, mobile things on your phone. Alright, I'm going to tell you 3 stories, and then I'll tell you about the car and driver study and describe the number of states that have texting and driving laws. Alright, the first thing I'll talk about is the car, or the stories. Alright, first of all, hang on 1 second. Alright, pass this around. It's basically, this is the first story, basically. I mean, it's not the person, but it's,
It's outside.
alright, this person's name is Ashley Zembrunen. She was driving her car on I-55. All she did was send a text message to her husband saying, "I love you," and she crossed the median into the other lane of traffic, and as she, instead of getting into an accident with all the other cars, she decided she was going to swerve. She overcorrected and flipped her car. She wound up paralyzed and is, for the next 2 years, she spent basically trying to remember how to do everything. Because I guess she had forgotten to do everything. So now it's 4 years later, and now she's doing a lot better, and she tells people her story. Get them to not text and drive.
She became a vegetable?
No, she didn't become a vegetable. She's just paralyzed. All right, and then the next 2 were actually taken off the site. That they're ironic texting and driving accidents. A woman dies after posting "The Happy Song Makes Me Happy" on Facebook.
I've heard that one.
In April of 2014, 32-year-old Ann Sanford was driving along a North Carolina road whenever she was like taking pictures or selfies and posting them on Facebook, and then she put down "The Happy Song Makes Me Happy," and a minute later, EMS was at her site. Second one is a girl who taps out the letter K, and that's all she does is taps out that one letter, doesn't even send it, and then gets to an accident. In 2009, Ashley Umshid was replying to her sister's text, which means she was reading a text message, and she flipped her truck. Umshid, and sent her out the window. All right, Car and Driver magazine did a study on which one was more dangerous, drinking and driving or texting and driving. And they needed a baseline to go by, so they had them drive normally. And they went down this like a airport runway that they had rented out. It didn't have anybody on it. And then they had them text and drive. They had the 2 different drivers who did the same exact text message. And these are the results. Worst results are, let me set real quick. If you look, the worst results are texting. This guy was driving 70 miles an hour, and it took him like 70 yards almost to stop. And what they did in order to do this is that whenever they did the alcohol, they were at 0.08. So now if somebody was at like 0.15, I mean, yeah, they probably drive worse than what they would texting and driving. But, all right, and then what they did to simulate like a car in front of them, like giving the stop signal, was they had like a little light up in the windshield, and they had a guy in the driver's or the passenger seat who was controlling the light in the windshield. And the results are right there, and you notice that the texting and driving took longer. All right, and there's only two states that actually don't have texting and driving laws at all, and those are Montana and Arizona. There are 4 states that have partial laws where it's basically goes to teenagers. Anyway, I think it's like 16 to 20, and they are Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Mississippi. All the rest of the states, it is illegal for all drivers. Nobody knew that, did they?
I do now.
All right, in conclusion, texting and driving is one of the most dangerous things that you can do on the roadways. You can tell from the 3 stories I found, and also from the car and driver study that I found. And the other thing is, why would so many states be outlawing it if it weren't dangerous? So what do you guys think now? Is it more dangerous?
Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey!